Also unsere Lehrerin in der Berufsschule, die hat uns einmal keine 2 Minuten früher gehen lassen, obwohl wir unbedingt zum Zug mussten. Und wir hatten quasi 10 Minuten, um irgendwie einen Kilometer oder zwei wahrscheinlich mehr, um einen Kilometer oder zwei zu rennen zum Zug, damit wir den noch erwischen. Weil der nächste wäre erst in einer Stunde gekommen. Also sind wir gerannt und gerannt. Wir haben es tatsächlich bis zum Zug geschafft. Wir waren dann am Bahnhof und der Zug war noch da. Wir haben auf den Knopf gedrückt, dass die Türen aufgehen und die Türen haben rot geblinkt. Das heißt, die gehen nicht mehr auf und der Zug ist vor unserer Nase abgefahren. Also wir haben quasi dann 2 Stunden verloren, weil unsere Lehrerin uns nicht 2 Minuten früher rausgelassen hat.
I only understand train station. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your
What's
host,
up?
Sebastian,
I'm Julian.
the co-host or other host. I guess I'm co-host also. I ran
We're
a
both co-hosts.
yeah. Everyone gets so mad about that. I'm like, why can't I just be host? Anyways, um,
What are you eating?
Shin Black ramen, the best ramen. It's a mild spice. It gets really spicy near the end. I can already feel my whole entire face just like heating up. But it's like a nice it's like a nice little like I feel um I feel moisturized right now.
Why?
I feel
Moisturized?
lubricated. Actually, is a better word. Lubricated. I feel lubricated all up here. Like everything can move freely.
I see.
Because it's kind of spicy, so like I'm watering here, and so then like my face, I don't know, it just feels good. So ramen. Shin Black. Um, at Fred Meyer, you can get it for like $12 for 4 packs, but if you go to a certain Super Savers, it's only $5 for 4 packs, which is an
Damn,
insane discount.
that's a deal.
Yeah, it makes it like 3 times expensive as top ramen rather than like 8. And
Well,
it's way better, way better.
y- honestly, the only time I've actually frequently ate ramen was during my time in America being a college student. Like I've never had ramen before or after, just during that time.
Really,
Yeah.
like not at all. Like never ever. Like do they just not sell it there or?
Well, they do sell it here in Germany, but I like it's just such a low effort dish. I don't know.
You're a professional
Like
chef. I understand. Yeah.
like if I'm hungry and I want to like not do anything, my go-to would be a sandwich or like cereal. I
That's
just never made ramen.
that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I had ramen my first year of college just because that was like that's the stereotype. College kids
Yeah.
eats the ramens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Back in the day, I feel like I just ate it cuz it like tastes kind of good. Um
It does. I'm not saying it's bad or anything. In fact, I could definitely go for some again.
you want
But
some?
yeah, I sure I'll
Munch
take it.
up, dude. um yeah, no, I think the big thing was I always ate at my friend's house. He always had a lot of like um stuff like that, like rice aroni and like off-brand
Mm.
cereals. But what the fuck was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought because I thought about rice aroni. Um,
We're
Ramen.
talking about
Oh,
ramen.
MSG, dude. They always talked about like it had MSG in it or something. Like it had bad stuff in it. So I didn't eat it that often because my parents and
Oh,
people were always like, it's bad for you, even though it was
hmm,
really good.
yeah. I've read uh multiple things about MSG, and um I've even read some I don't want to call it a conspiracy theory, but I didn't like check in or anything, but there was someone saying like um basically the American health industry, or some industry in America um said MSG is bad because it's in a lot of Chinese food, and they basically made it to let the Chinese restaurants look bad. Like they wanted the Chinese restaurants to look bad because they put MSG into a lot of stuff, even
Huh.
though MSG isn't really all that dangerous, from what that source has told me anyway.
That's actually probably true then. Knowing America, that's probably what's. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think it was that bad. But they like a lot of stores started saying like they no MSG like or MSG free or whatever. Like I know
Yeah.
there's a teriyaki store shop somewhere over there and it says like no MSG on the window like in huge
Hmm.
letters. It says that.
Hmm.
So it must just be yeah. I'm wondering. I don't know. I never looked it up.
Yeah,
I'm
I've also read a tweet by someone who's worked in the food industry before, like as some higher thing, like not like someone working in a teriyaki shop or something, like in actual labs and stuff. And they said even though a lot of companies and people put MSG free or no MSG on their products, there's still MSG in it because well, according to him anyway, it doesn't really do anything, or it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
yeah,
And
yeah.
matter of fact is it does enhance the taste a lot.
Yeah, it's like a type of sweetener, right, or something like that.
I think it's more salty, but
Oh, a type of salt.
that
Yeah,
goes beyond my
yeah.
knowledge.
I have no idea. Um, but that's interesting because I just remember. Oh, I remember my mom babysat this family's kids because both their parents worked, and they were like, "Oh, that's it." Cup of noodle. Cup of noodle was the big thing that I ate a lot. It wasn't top
Hmm.
ramen. It was cup of noodle, which is a similar thing. But
Hmm.
yeah, they were only allowed to have like a cup of noodle like once a month or something like that because their
Yeah.
parents were like scared of MSG. And
Hmm.
like my mom never bought any MSG stuff because of that. But when those kids showed up, there was a ton of MSG stuff, and I was just gobbling it all up because I never got to eat any ramen, cup of noodle all over the place, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it makes sense. Yeah. I don't even know what spiked the discussion about MSG recently. Like I've just been seeing it come up again and again.
Really,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where it came from though.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I haven't gone on the internet, but I don't read the news. Maybe you got an outbreak.
Yeah.
MSG linked to Corona.
Oh, yeah. Um, Corona. Speaking of Corona,
What do
how's
you?
it going in Washington
Um. Well, word on the street is there's about to be a 6 week lockdown, like hardcore,
again?
but like hardcore this time. Like no one's going outside, no businesses open, probably except grocery stores and
Hmm.
like super essential businesses, not just like essential.
Yeah.
Um. And so yeah, because I think like the governor's just like tired of like people just screwing this up because like we get it down and then it goes back up and then but the big problem with that is though is I was thinking I was like we're going to have to lock down the borders to the state because if other states aren't locking down then like they can just walk in here and screw it up
Yeah.
or something like that. And like I'm sure people wouldn't even follow it because I mean a lot of people thought the original lockdown, which wasn't even that bad, was ridiculous. So I don't know how he's gonna be
Yeah.
able to pull off a total lockdown without complete police intervention. And
Yeah.
but I think something that's pretty awesome. Apparently, Spain is the only country in Europe that still has a major problem.
I haven't read anything about Spain, honestly.
Well, I have two Spanish
Um,
friends, and they told
mm,
me that Spain is the only country in Europe that still has a problem because they're acting like Americans and they're not following the
I
rules.
could see that.
Well, they're
I
crazy,
could
man.
definitely see that.
According to my grandma, they're just like crazy hot. They're just like hot people. Like just like, or I don't remember exactly the term they use, but they're just like they party like all the time, and they're always like doing
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Not like they're
Hmm.
beautiful
And they're
looking.
very energetic.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they couldn't stand there, in place.
Yeah.
And my grandma was
Yeah.
like, I can't believe Italy did that because like Italians are also sort of like that, but I guess they're
Hmm.
more conformed or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look at stereotypes, it actually kind of makes sense for Germany to be one of the countries that came out pretty well from the crisis, because German stereotype is like very like strictly following the rules and being very efficient at everything. And we're kind of keeping to ourselves anyway. So I don't think it was that big of a problem for Germans when
Yeah,
they had to keep a little more to themselves, basically.
yeah, that's what it sounds like. But like the biggest problem is like Florida.
Oh yeah,
Like
dude, I've
Florida,
read a lot about
they
Florida.
bust out like 10,000 new cases a day or something like that. Or at least they did. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what it's at now. They might have gotten everybody at this point, but like New York, like that's the thing is talking about like international travel, like you can't if the place that you can fly to, they usually are like, quarantine 2 weeks or whatever, and then you can
Hmm.
stay there.
Yeah.
Um well, that's actually happening inside our country. So like if you fly to New York, you have to quarantine. But if you fly to Florida, you're free to go because they're screwed. Like, they just got like my grandparents are going to Florida in like 2 days. And
Mm.
so like they don't have to quarantine, or they go to Pennsylvania, they don't have to quarantine. But if you go to New York, you have to quarantine because they are like, they locked it down because of their governor.
Yeah.
Um which is it's just insane. It's just crazy to me. These people won't just like you can't just do 2 weeks, which we could have done 6 months ago. 2 weeks. How many weeks has
Yeah.
it been since this started? It's been 8
Too
months.
many.
It's been 8
Yeah.
months. Okay, so let's do the math on that. 8 times 4, 32. Okay? 30 weeks ago. Could have all just stayed inside for 2 weeks and we would have been fine.
But my
Anyways,
freedom.
yeah, but my freedom, exactly. And now we got I watch a lot of Moist Critical, and I shouldn't have said Moist Critical. I just watched Critical. I don't know why I said Moist, but anyways, hold on, I have to get that thought out of my head. 1 second, and it's gone. Okay. Anyways, he talks about all the anti-maskers, and he said that the Karens have started um, the air mafia or something like that. Like, cause it's a lot of
I
people.
think I've heard about it.
It's just like I don't know what air mafia is, if that's a thing, but like I'm pretty sure that was a joke, but I have no idea. But it's basically just like people are like, I can't breathe in the mask, and so then they hand out like you have a card that says I can't wear a mask because I can't breathe or some shit, and it's not like it's just yeah, you can think masks like aren't okay and not wear one, but like don't go and like disturb other people. Like just go be by yourself without a mask. Like I haven't worn a mask. Like I probably worn a mask like probably an hour because I don't go anywhere. So it's I
Yeah.
don't need to wear a mask. So it's like if people just didn't go anywhere, and like it's just a total like they're just for themselves. Like that's the thing. They're just for themselves. They're not for like the betterment of everybody else. Like this whole
Hmm.
thing of like, okay, like you're infringing on, well, I'm trying to think about this. Oh, it's like you're infringing on my right, their right to not wear a mask, to have to wear a mask, right? Like that's what the
Hmm.
government's like, wear a mask, and it's like, oh, I don't want to, but you're also infringing on my right to live because you could spread corona to me because you're not taking the precautions, and then I die. Also, you're infringing on my right to travel because if we would have just figured this shit out, I could have fucking left already because I didn't want to gotta be here.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've already yelled about that a bunch. I don't. Anyways,
It reminds me of a couple recent, well, not a couple, but there's a video out there of a guy, uh, um, and I just saw a screenshot of the YouTube video, and it's titled something like "Wearing 10 masks in like 100 degrees doing sports to prove you to prove you can actually breathe through a mask."
yeah,
And
yeah,
he put on 10 masks, went out in 100-degree weather, and did like a couple sports exercises and whatnot, and he was totally fine. And I mean, that's just a ridiculous level of trying to prove that a mask can't harm you. But if that doesn't show you that it
65
does not
degrees.
affect your
One mask won't do a thing, dude. Like what the
yeah.
No, I talking about that though, like working out. My friend works at a gym and they just opened back up, and so he started, he posted it on his Snapchat, and people were like,
Hmm.
"What are the regulations? What are the regulations?" And he's like, "Okay, everybody has to wear a mask at all times." And then everyone's like, a few people were like, "Dude, that's bullshit. Like, I can't work out in a mask." And then I would have just been like, "Well, then don't come because you can't do that." The other thing that I thought was funny was uh it was like, okay, so you say you can't wear a mask, right? You're too weak to wear a mask, you can't breathe. So you admit
Yeah.
that furries are stronger human beings than you. Immediately, you admit that. That's no bashing furries. I'm just saying that, like, some people believe furries are inferior to them, but in reality, it looks like furries are superior in that regard to breathing. So,
Must be some truth to that.
something like that.
Hmm.
Did you ever see the TV show A Thousand Ways to Die?
No,
Okay,
I
well,
think I've heard of it, but I never seen it.
basically, it would just be like a couple, like they would have a number, and it'd be like number 26, death by chainsaw, or something like that. And then they'd like act out like someone dying, basically.
Hmm.
And one of the first ones was, I don't remember what it was called, but basically it was a bunch of furries out in a desert around a fire, and they were all like having sex and stuff. Uh, and then a real live bear shows up, but then one
Oh.
person thinks it's a dude in a costume, so he goes to like fornicate with the bear, and the bear mauls him to death. And that was like that was one of the deaths.
That's genius.
Yeah, that's some other ones that were kind of ridiculous. Like his friend, there was this. Okay, so there's a dude sitting in a chair, and then there's another dude sitting in a little kiddie pool. He's just like they're both relaxing, and the dude in the
Mhm.
kiddie pool keeps asking the dude in the chair for a cigarette. So he gets a cigarette, and he's like so drunk that he keeps dropping the cigarettes into the pool and just ruining it. And then he keeps asking for more and more. And eventually, like like, uh, his friend passes out, right? And the dude that's like just lost like probably half a box of cigarettes gets all mad. So he gets a shotgun. Okay. He takes one of the shotgun I actually
Shells.
shells, yeah, that's right, shells. And he dumps all the beads out of it, and he puts 3 cigarettes into it.
Hmm.
And he puts it into the shotgun, clack clack, points it, shoots it at him, and then they do this animation where the cigarettes light midair from the explosion, right? and they hit the dude in
Yeah.
the face, and they melt through his skull and kill him.
So it's an animated show though, right?
No, no, this is real life. So like
Oh,
they actually like did this special. They do all this special effects stuff.
oh
It's kind of
shit.
cool. But yeah, they did stuff like that. Um, there was one. My mom got the name of it before they showed it, because what they would do is they'd show you the number and then they'd show you the name, and you'd like guess the
Mm,
name if you wanted to. So there was
mhm.
one where this Japanese couple. This is specific. This is important that they're Japanese.
Okay.
This Japanese
Mhm.
couple. They're like super shy, and they've never um done the nasty yet, I guess as you
Okay.
could call it. Like they were just super like shy about like showing any affection, like, but they liked each
Yeah.
other, and like maybe they'd hold hands or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I guess like one night they just like kind of like overcome their fear, and they decide to do
Mhm.
it. And the sheer like shock and pleasure from what they got causes them both to have a heart attack, and they both die. Okay, and now the reason why I mentioned that they're Japanese was because it was the number one way to die or whatever. It was number one on the list, and my mom was just
Uh-huh.
like Ichiban, because that's what number one is in Japanese, and it was. It was called Ichiban, and it was just like, ugh, dude, that show, man.
That's so random.
For the first two seasons, like after they showed a bunch of people, like bunch of fake deaths, they would show someone who miraculously survived. And so
Hmm.
one was this lady was skydiving,
Hmm.
and her like chute didn't open. And so
Oh shit.
she hits the pavement at like 50 miles an hour. Like
Yo,
face first, just hits the pavement like on the
what the
street,
fuck?
and she lived, which was
How, dude?
incredible. Yeah, I don't know,
That's crazy.
but that was an interesting show. You got any like
Yeah.
weird shows in Germany?
Okay. Let me. I don't watch a lot of German TV anymore. I used to watch, but
Oh yeah,
when I was
I don't
younger.
watch TV anymore. Like that was
Uh,
all back in the day, dude.
yeah. No, I stopped watching TV around, I want to say like 13, 14 years old, and up until that point, it was mostly like kids shows and cartoons and whatnot. So, um, do you know Takeshi's Castle? It's not a German show. It's a
No, I do know what you're talking about. I don't remember exactly, but I think I've heard it before. Isn't that like
it's not.
it's like a game show, right?
Yeah, it's a. I think it's Japanese. Um, but it's very, very popular in Germany for some reason, and it's basically a game show where um,
Yeah, it's from Tokyo.
it's actually kind of like the game Fall Guys that just came out. Like, just think Fall Guys in real life with like games that will work in real life,
Yeah.
and that's basically it.
Yeah,
But
okay, yeah.
the end or like the finale of the show was always um the reason why it's called Takeshi's Castle is because there's a guy Takeshi, and every participant is part of the army that's trying to storm his castle, trying to conquer his castle. So the finale would always be Takeshi and his last remains of whatever he has left of like people that fight for him or work for him or whatever. Um, so it would be him and those guys sitting in like small carts of sort, and it would basically be like uh, how do you like a scooter laser tag combination kind of thing. So like you drive around in this little car that looks like it controls very weird, and sometimes they had like actual laser tags, and sometimes they just had like water guns and like a paper screen that you had to shoot through, and if it broke then you were out.
Huh.
And the cool part is you like most of the time Takeshi's gang always won, but sometimes you would know like there were some times where the participants of the game actually win, and you would always like hope for that, and it was always so cool to see that because it was so rare, but you know it could happen. But yeah, that was a show that I could still watch that today and have fun with it. And I think they kind of brought it back at some point, um, but I'm not sure how that went. I just know the OG shows, and that was always a blast, and like everyone in Germany knows it at my age anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japanese game shows very popular. That's my plan B right now. Like if I fail in whatever I'm going to do, then I'm
Mhm.
gonna send an audition tape to Japan, just like VHS tape to Japan. Someone will find it, and hopefully I'll get put on a show.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Could be getting rich.
That'd be cool.
Make a lot of yen.
Yeah, lots of yen. I have some yen actually somewhere.
You do.
I have a big box of foreign monies.
Um, so do I, and I actually just today looked up some of the values of the coins because there's some coins in there from like the 19th century, like 1850, whatever.
Uh huh.
And they're actually quite valuable if they're in the right condition. And we have like a bunch of them, and I'm trying to sell all of them. Um, I'm not keeping the money myself because it's like a family thing. But my mom's kind of opposing me. She's like, "Oh, you gotta keep it. It's like cool to have." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just gonna like rot away in a box if we keep it. And if I sell it, I know it's gonna go to someone who actually appreciates it and doesn't just keep it for the sake of, oh, my grandfather collected it. Like I'm all for like little trinkets and like little pieces of memory, but um if I have like probably $1,000 cash sitting in a box somewhere and just don't do anything with it, then I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't think that's much of a memory.
that's true. Yeah, I yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you about selling stuff. I just can't. I'm a hoarder. I guess.
Yeah, I'm really the opposite. I mean, if you take a look at my room behind me, there's like basically nothing. And then you take a look at yours. Yeah.
Complete opposites. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, do you have a closet in your room?
Um, I can show you a little bit. Like this is this is usually not that uh cluttered. Like this is usually completely clean. But there's my wall. That's like the only thing that looks kind of unorganized, but it actually is organized. But yeah, I have a like this is my closet for like my clothes and whatnot.
Clothes.
There's some clothes, yeah.
Clothes.
Clothes. And there's just like cables, controllers, games, some books, other stuff.
Okay.
But basically it all just essential. I don't have anything that I don't need. I don't know when I turned out to be like this. Like I had a time where I was very messy and my room looked kind of similar to yours, but at some
There's a
point when I
method. There's a method. I'm just saying. It's all organized. I know
no, I
where
trust you.
everything is. I know where everything is.
Yeah, yeah,
I also know
and
exactly what's in this room. Like if you're like, "Is this in my room?" I'm gonna be like, "No" or "Yes," because the thing is I've gone through every inch of this room before, so I know for a fact certain things are not in here. Sorry,
Yeah,
mom.
I used to be the exact same way, so I definitely get you in that point. Um, at some point when I was, I don't know, 16 or 17 or so, I just said, all right, I have all this crap out with it. And since that, I've just been, my room never gets fuller. Like, I only ever take stuff out of my room,
Hmm.
except for those skateboards. Those came in from America, but yeah.
Yeah. My room would be. My room would probably be cleaner, but the thing is uh, like I wouldn't have these couches in here, but my parents were like, okay, we're just gonna. My dad was just gonna throw them away, and my
Yeah.
mom was like, we're not throwing those away. Are you kidding me? He's like, well, I don't know where to put them, so I was like, just put them down here, I guess. So then I got these couches, and then that's what happened with this thing and that brand new TV. And my parents are using this like old ass TV, and I was like, just take this one, throw that other one, give that other one away, and use this one, so I don't have to have it here because I already built a
Yeah.
TV room over there. But yeah, I got like I don't have like a closet, so like there's that whole rack of the rack of shirts and jackets. So it's like
Mm,
other people's rooms they got like they have like the main room, and then they have like a closet that's like
mm,
behind doors that's not really part of their room, so that's cheating.
yeah.
They're cheating. Um, but yeah, no, I got a lot of stuff, cause yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why anymore. I know why certain things exist, but the other things, not so much. Well, like a lot, I have like a lot of this is stuff I took from college. Like, dude, if I had a house by myself, this would furnish a house. That's the like the whole reason I have everything. Is because I have like furniture to furnish like a studio apartment, sort of like where I am now. But I mean, I wouldn't take probably a lot of things.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm gonna get one of these couches removed soon. Because what I really want is just like a studio right here. Because my room used to be,
Mhm.
dude, my room used to be so clean. Like, I don't know how it was that clean before. Because, like, literally, it used to just be like a bed. It used to be like a bed way over there on the ground,
Mhm.
desk, and then there was a TV here and a couch. That was it. That was like basically that was all in my room. I don't know how it's just like almost full now. I don't get it.
Damn.
But because
Sounds like my kind of room.
well, I used to run a party in here every 2 weeks, and so I had to keep it clean. I couldn't
Mm.
have anything in here. But no, I don't.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of people coming over usually. Mm. But we don't like we do stay in this room sometimes just for like the PC because I have 3 monitors and like a really nice PC and everything.
Mhm.
A great setup basically, but when we don't need it, I have a basement and there's 2 couches in there. There's a giant bed. There's a hammock above the bed. There's a TV in there. There's a desk. Like there's everything you need, and you
Oh,
could
it's lit.
have like 6 people sleeping in there. Uh, in fact, 6 people have already slept in there before. So that's like the chill room, like the room we usually use for everything.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's I'm in the basement, so
Yeah, that is in the basement as well. The nice thing about it is, especially now in summer, something I noticed a lot in terms of like how the climate is different in Germany or in Bavaria compared to Washington is when it's hot here in Bavaria, southern Bavaria, then there's no breeze or anything that like sweeps away the heat. Like it feels like the air stands still, and the heat is just pressing onto you all the time.
mm.
And in Washington, whenever it would have the same temperatures, there was always like a light breeze that would, you know, give give way for new air. So when the air here in Bavaria like stands, gets it just feels very, I don't know, disgusting. I can't say it any other way, but yeah. Um, that's what I miss about the Washington climate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some people that call it God's country up here because it's we got a ecosystem that like no other place has
That's
and
true, yeah.
stuff like that. So that's what a mob guy said about it. It's God's country. So who knows, dude? The mafia's also here, so we got it all apparently.
Nice. All right. I think we should wrap this up now.
I was gonna ask, how does it feel to be the I don't know. I couldn't find the exact number, but maybe like the millionth most subscribed German YouTube channel.
Um,
Maybe 12 millionth. I don't know. I have no idea. How does it feel? How does it feel to be
um,
so famous?
there's a lot of responsibility that comes with the fame. Like, you can't just be out and be saying everything that's on your mind because obviously you have an impression on people and or you make an impression on people and a lot of people look up to you. So those people are just gonna recite whatever you're saying, and sometimes you're just saying bullcrap for the fun of it, and then these people take you seriously. And you know, it was nice, like when we weren't famous, um, to be able to just say anything on the internet or anywhere really, and not have anyone mind or care. Because even though that does sound like um something that you wouldn't want, like you want people to care, but actually like sometimes you just want to say shit for the fun of it.
I mean, yeah, that's that's exactly you're exactly right. Dictionary definition of
Thank you.
fame.
You got anything more to say then?
um, stay tuned for episode 2, coming out before episode 1.
Great. All right.
Epic gamer
Bye bye.
moment. Okay, see ya.
All right. Back to playing Super Toy Cars.